Hello, people! Back from my 4-day vacation. Trying to get this in this time. When we left to go to vacation in Kansas City, we left kind of like dropped our dog off at my wife's parents' house, and she is going crazy tonight. So hopefully we get this in this time. So we went to Kansas City on vacation, and right before we left, I want to get to the 3 pickups I got before we actually left. I kind of talked about these on Facebook if you had followed me on Facebook, but so I got a gift card for Father's Day, and this time around I thought I'm going to buy games that mean a lot to me, that I normally don't find in my area, or rarely see, and they're going to be a little more on the expensive side. And the first game I actually ordered was a game that I actually originally bought on NES because I read the original and absolutely loved it, and that's none other than Ninja Gaiden 2: The Dark Sword of Chaos. It also came with the instruction booklet, amazingly in really good condition. Love that artwork. It's awesome. Awesome artwork. Look at that ninja. I'm going to take you down. Anyway, I rented the first one, absolutely loved it. Eventually did buy the first one, but I bought the second one, again, back in the NES days. There really wasn't such thing as a release date. It just kind of got released, and you kind of found out your store. In this case, I saw it at my store, loved the first one, bought the second one, and absolutely loved that artwork. Another reason I bought games back then was just for that awesome artwork. And even though Ninja Gaiden games are hard and very difficult, I did beat all 3 originally when they came out. Of course, when you bought a game, you had several months between games, so that's all you played. So I played this game until I beat it. And what I loved about Ninja Gaiden over a lot of NES games, a lot of NES games, you kind of had to, in your mind, like make up a story or the reason why you're doing things. In this game, there was an actual story, though maybe not realistic in some respects, but it had a story. I liked the story and the characters. And of course I love the graphics of the game. So, and they did improve graphically over each game slightly. So absolutely loved all 3 Ninja Gaiden games. It's funny how I love the original, but have never actually played the current Ninja Gaiden games. And so the next one is another number 2 from Capcom, because back in the NES days, Capcom and Konami ruled for me. I mean, if I saw one of their games, I either had to rent it or buy it. And in this case, it's Mega Man 2. Now, if you're going on pure nostalgia, the first Mega Man game I actually bought was Mega Man 3. But Mega Man 2 was the first game I ever saw or remember for the NES that was actually a number 2 to a game, an actual sequel. And I liked Mega Man a lot. I rented it until I beat it. And when I read the second one, to me, it improved on everything. The graphics, the gameplay, the music, everything was so awesome in this game. And Mega Man games were rather difficult, were rather simple in the sense that all the enemies were in the same place. So what I mean by that is, if you were to go forward, beat an enemy, go backwards and go forward again, that enemy would still be there, no matter if you defeated them or not. And this game was basically memorizing what each level, what was coming next, where every enemy was, of course, the weaknesses of the bosses. And even though you knew all those things, the games were incredibly difficult. You easily could hit a spike and die instantly. But absolutely love the game, and absolutely love that artwork, which is what I love most about NES games, that awesome artwork. So the third final game I got off that gift card is a game that means a lot to me. This was a throw-in because it wasn't very expensive. Now, the only thing that kind of irks me off about this one I bought, and it is Section Z, was that in the description, just like the other 2, he said the label was in great condition. And the photos he used clearly were not his own, because while the front looks pretty decent, when you flip it over, the name has been half ripped off. Not only that, but I've cleaned the game. The game wants to work, but it has not worked yet for me. And it's only a couple of dollars. It wasn't very much. It was like, what can I buy after I bought the other 2? But I can find this. It is not incredibly hard to find around here. But the reason why this game, when talking on the NES, why this game means a lot to me, besides it is Capcom back then, was, and of course I bought it based on the artwork alone because I knew nothing about this game. It was the very first game on the NES that I bought with my own money for the system. And so it means a lot to me. Even though I never got very far in the game and never beat this game, it still means a lot. So we went to vacation in Kansas City, left here on Monday, and it was a little more or less 8 hours to get there because we had to drop the dog off at my wife's parents' house, and then we left. And when we got to Kansas City, the first thing we did was go actually game shopping. which of course, fellow YouTuber Big Daddy Darth, who's retired, who says he doesn't make videos anymore, actually kind of told me, kind of suggested where to go, and he kind of had already been there, so he kind of told me what might be there when I got there. But we had seen a lot of sites where we were there. We pushed a lot in 3.5 days. On the way up there, we saw the Mark Twain Cave, which is really cool, where Mark Twain, basically the cave that Mark Twain used to go in a lot and wrote about in the Adventures of Tom Sawyer. We went to, we went to the Worlds of Fun / Oceans of Fun amusement park. We went to the Kansas City Zoo. We went to Legoland and Sea Life Aquarium. And while we were at Legoland, each one of us, member of the family, me, my wife, and my son, got a Lego set. My son got a Minecraft Lego set, which he has upstairs, which I can't show right now. My wife got some Creator one. And then I had to make some tough choices, but I did choose one. Of course, one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time. None other than Back to the Future. And of course, the DeLorean. Which is cool about this set is, you see the original DeLorean, you can actually convert it into the DeLorean in Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3. And all the pieces are in here to do it. And of course, it comes with Marty and Doc, though I don't know why Marty has a purple skateboard, but anyway. And I actually assembled it today, so here's what Back to the Future 1 DeLorean looks like. Of course, Marty and Doc are inside. The flux capacitor is actually in the back. You probably can't see it. There also is, actually, the dashboard actually has the 1958 and 1985, I think, on the dashboard. So all the stuff for the movie in it. It was really cool to have this. But the reason why I said it was kind of a tough choice was right next to it for $60 was the Ghostbusters set, which had, of course, the Ghostbusters, Echo 1 vehicle, and the 4 Ghostbusters for $60, which I didn't want to spend any more than my wife and my son did. But me and my wife thought was really cool, which I wouldn't know where to put it if I even got it, was Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the Ewok Village. It was $250. It was like almost 2,000 pieces. This thing looked awesome. But again, where would I put it? And I really didn't want to spend that much money on a Lego set. But I'm glad to get the DeLorean. It's really cool. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do it. I might actually convert it to the flying one eventually, but because it does have actual little clear things to peg it on and just like display it. So that is the only gaming thing I have to show. Like I said, Big Daddy Darth suggested where to go when I was up there. And the first place I actually hit up there, honestly, was a place called Half Price Books. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers have been to Half Price Books before, but there is none in my area. And I'm going to show you the first thing I got. The only NES game I got there was actually Wall Street Kid. It basically kind of it's a Wall Street simulator game. And I have tried all these games out, by the way. Wall Street simulator game. Cool to have it. It wasn't actually that expensive, so it's really cool to have this game. But I want to show you before I show you everything I got here, I want to show you what my wife picked up. Now, this is, again, here's what's funny about when we go on vacation. The last 2 times we went on vacations were weddings to the girls my wife had babysitted when they were really young. And we had spent, a decent amount of money there each time. And my wife had always outspent me. And when I walked in here, right before she picked this out, I would have outspent her. But she only bought one thing, and this one thing, at this trip there, because I actually had to go back, and I'll explain in a little bit, she actually outspent me because for $84.99, she had actually got herself a pink 3DS. So I already have a 3DS. My son's been playing the heck out of it. And quite honestly, because there's 3 of us, there really isn't enough time for everybody to actually adequately play on it. And she wanted her own, so it was only for $85, so she got a pink 3DS. Which is really cool. That's really cool. Wasn't expecting to find one that cheap, actually. But anyway, it's all complete in the box. Perfect condition. It's actually playing on it right now. So that's what she got. Now let me show you the really cool thing I picked up there. Something I already knew. Again, Big Daddy Darth had kind of told me he'd seen this there. And when he said he saw it, I didn't actually think of it in this way. It is Articelano, I'm going to say it wrong. Articelano, Melanie of Alumna. Here it is right here, RPG on the PlayStation 2. Again, I knew this was here. You already kind of mentioned it was there and might still be there. But what I didn't know was that it comes with, of course, the game, which is right here. And this is like limited edition because it actually has an official art book. So it's really cool to add that to the collection. I have the PlayStation 3 game that came out of this series, and it's really good to have this and sit down and actually play through it. Really awesome. But there was one other RPG I got. I had the third one on the PlayStation 2. Big Daddy Darth showed up and actually snagged the first one because he already told me it was they both were there the morning before I showed up there, which is fine. I'll find the other one eventually. And it is Altair Iris number 2. Was it Azoth of Destiny? So I have the third one. It's cool now to have the second one. I originally actually played the first one of this series and actually fell in love with it. So it's kind of cool to have this one. Now I just need the first one, and I have all three on the PlayStation 2. And I can't wait to sit down and play this one. Though with all the games I got a lot of RPGs to play through. So I'm going to real quickly skip ahead to what we picked up. We went back there on Wednesday, and the reason we had to go back there on Wednesday was because I had picked up Hot Shots Golf Open T2 for the PSP there, and I didn't look at it before I bought it, and I mistakenly didn't look at it before I bought it, and inside of it was actually Battlefront, not the game. So we went back and returned it, which they let us return it. And when we went back that day, since we returned it, I decided, you know what, they had a classic controller for basically the GameCube, which of course works for the GameCube and the Wii. And I don't have a good GameCube controller. The GameCube controller I have is like kind of messed up. It doesn't work properly. So I picked this up there because I've never been able to play my GameCube because I actually don't have a good controller. So now I have a controller. And what happened was when we went back, my son saw this book because he absolutely loves Minecraft and had to have it. Basically, this is basically a book about Minecraft, but also it has, when I find it here we go. It also has some of the recipes in it. So, it didn't cost very much. It was his money, so cool to have that. And when we went back, my wife had found two more games. I bought, except for that controller, I bought nothing this time around. And she actually picked up, Hidden Mysteries, Solemn Secrets, because she loves these point-and-click adventure games. So she picked that one up. And this was interesting. This is from Natsum. It's Witch's Wish. It is like an RPG-like game. Basically, it's a RPG/puzzle game where basically this girl is just a witch and trying to be wants to be a very powerful witch kind of thing. So she picked those two games up. So now that I'm done babbling, let's reverse back to Monday. We also went to hit a vintage stock in the town. Again, Big Daddy Darth suggested I go there. Now, again, I don't have a vintage stock in my area. Oh, real quickly, half price books. I also picked this one up for like $2. Bravo Air Raid. Our Air Race for the PlayStation 1. It was $2. It was on clearance. It looked like it could be kind of fun. From THQ. Anyway, there's no vintage stock where I live at. And so we went there. And this is where my wife surprised me. She said, buy whatever you want. Spend whatever you want. I don't let you spend it very often. Just buy whatever you want for your collection. Now, even though she said I did limit myself. In respect. But I saw these two games in the case for the NES, and I had to have them. Now, I do not have a NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Genesis Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game in my collection. And so I had to buy this, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the My Hand Projects. Again, I played all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles originally, rented them when they came out, and just really glad to have this in my collection. Again, that label is in perfect condition. And I've talked about this before. I absolutely loved the first Final Fantasy. I bought it when it came out. Took me 2 weeks to beat it. I had to call the Nintendo hotline. The only time I ever called the Nintendo hotline for a game, and felt stupid because I was actually one town over. I searched the whole world and couldn't find this one rare armor I needed. But anyway, I finally picked up the original Final Fantasy. Again, labels in great condition. But I also did pick up other NES games. Again, I went there in the thing of picking up games I normally don't see in my area. For example, Muscle, which is a fun little wrestling / punching game. It's kind of funny. A little fun game to play. Of course, kind of based off the muscle figures. Here's where I made my mistake. I thought I had a Car Warriors 2, but I actually have a Car Warriors 1. So I picked this one up, so now I have a duplicate. And the next game I actually picked up, you would think wouldn't be that hard to find, but in my area, it's just one of those weird games that you can never find it. And that is none other than, again, a game I used to have and love, Mach Rider. Which is a simple, motorcycle riding game where you have to shift gears while paying attention to the track and shoot the bad guys. The more bad guys you shoot, the more points you get from that. Of course, the more often you shoot, the more points you get. And while avoiding the rocks and the hazards and staying on the track. Again, not the easiest game, but you can get a lot of fun out of it. And now that I brought up Car Warriors 1, the game I knew I didn't have that I found that I had to get was Akara 3. The Rescue. Now, what's funny about this game is at the very beginning of this game, you don't have a gun. It's just your hands. You're just basically punching the bad guys, on landing in the river to start off the game. Kind of a different, slightly different version of Akara, but anyway, the last one that was ever released on the NES. So good to have that. And this is a game I just never seen before. Picked it up, played it. Wasn't the best game ever. Wasn't the worst game on the NES. But that is from Sammy, and it is Thundercade. Okay. So like I said, I had been up to that case before. And sitting right next, up on top, right above where Teenage Mutant Turtles and Final Fantasy was, an RPG I don't have on the PlayStation 1 and absolutely used to have. And when I saw it, I had to have it again. And that was Shikoden 1 by Konami for the PlayStation 1. This is complete. It has, of course, the guide. And, of course, Chrome Mixing and Valiant Hearts, which I already have. And, of course, the actual game itself. Again, really glad to add this game to my collection. I absolutely love this game whenever it came out. Again, great RPG. Like a lot of the RPGs on the PlayStation 1. Thank goodness they didn't have Shikoden 2, because obviously that's a much more expensive game that I still need to get one day. And then I picked up Bust-A-Move 99. Bust-A-Move games are fun little games to play on any system, and really nice to pick that one up. The last 3 games I got to show you was actually a 3 for $10 sale. And once again, just like the Car Warrior 1, I actually already own Hot Shots Golf 2. But this game, in case they're in so much more condition, I'm going to keep this one. But really glad to have another copy of this game. This game was actually, Hot Shots Golf 2 was the first Hot Shot game I actually bought for the PlayStation. And since I had that, this is complete also Hot Shots Golf 3. And then, of course, Hot Shots Golf 4. So those are all my pickups on vacation. Got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of them the first day. It was really cool to have a lot of it because, I mean, you go somewhere else when you go game hunting to look for games you normally don't find in your area. I don't go to look for games I know I can get in my area. And I had a lot of really cool pickups, a lot of cool stuff to play. Everybody in the family got something, so that's really awesome. So, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.